Hello, everyone. I'm Dave.
And I'm Dirk.
Welcome to 2D Reviewers. And today we are going to have an unboxing of the Angel Hero Pack for Marvel Champions. So we'll remove the protection sticker.
Doesn't want to remove itself from you.
Apparently not. Angel is one of the newest heroes, along with Psylocke, that came in the game. Open the clamshell, hopefully. Pull the deck out. Now, this is your first hero pack. One thing to remember is there's always a poster inside the flap. You don't want to throw that away. Nice image of Angel's hero card as a poster.
But more importantly is the backside.
The backside has some rules, like it's talking about foldable cards, new card type, player side scheme, in case this is your first product that has them. Any keywords, how to build the deck, and playtesters, and Marvel licensing, and all that important stuff. All right, and we'll open up the seal, and we'll switch to the blow-up camera so we can see these cards. All right, we are going to start with the alter ego for Angel, which is Warren Worthington III. He's got a recovery of 3. He's a mutant. He has the regrowth ability, which is an action. Heal 1 damage from Warren Worthington III. Limit once per round. He has a hand size of 6 and hit points of 12.
Okay. And then his first hero side here that we'll look at is Angel, which has a 2 thwart, a 1 attack, and a 2 defense. He's got the aerial keyword and X-Force. And his ability on this side is a response. It's called Angel of Life. And after you play an aerial event, you can draw 1 card. This one's also limited to once per round. But of course, if you spend time in both forms, you can do both actions. And here he has a hand size of 5. And now, I'm excited about this because this will be the first time I've seen one of the 3-face cards. At least out of, normally we play and we have them already in a holder. So this will be the first time I've seen it outside of the holder.
And a quick correction, it's limit once per phase, not
phase, that's right.
Per round. So you could do it during the villain phase. Yes, and as Dirk alluded to, this card will open to a full-size double card here. And this is Archangel, and he's got a 0 thwart, 2 attack, 3 defense, aerial X-Force. He has the Angel of Death ability, which is a response. After you play an aerial event, deal damage to an enemy equal to that event's printed cost. Limit once per phase. And you'll note it also has an acceleration icon. So when you're an Archangel, not only can he not thwart, but he's adding extra thwart. So the Justice player's best friend.
Okay, so now onto the kit. So our first card here is a signature ally, which is Psylocke. Betsy Braddock. She is an ally that costs 3. She thwarts for 1. She attacks for 1. She has the Psionic and X-Force keywords. And as a hero response, after she attacks, if you're Angel, you can heal 1 damage from her. And if you're Archangel, you can ready your hero. So she's got some flexibility there.
All right. Next card, we have 2 copies of this one. It's Adaptive Plumage. It's a 3-cost event. Aerial attack thwart. As a hero action, you can thwart, and if you're Angel, you remove 3 threat from a scheme and confuse the enemy. And a hero action, if you are Archangel, deal 4 damage to an enemy and stun it. So this card, depending on what form you're in, will let you thwart or attack.
You'll see that's kind of a running theme with the Angel cards. Next we have the aerial agility, which is a aerial defense event. Cost 1. It's a hero interrupt when an enemy attacks. If you're Angel, you can ignore each boost icon and each boost ability for the attack, so that's pretty handy. If you're Archangel, you give your hero a tough status card, and he gains Retaliate 1 for the attack. So you typically lose the toughness immediately, but it protects you, and then it gives you 1 Retaliate as well, so you can get rid of a villain's toughness with it. So that's pretty handy. 2 copies of that card.
All right. Next we have Metamorphosis. So this is his way of switching forms in addition to your normal once per hero phase. It's a 2-cost event. Action, change forms. Then, if you're Warren Worthington III, draw a card. If you're Angel, remove 2 threat from a scheme. And if you're Archangel, deal 3 damage to an enemy. Plus, you get to do the draw a card or do the extra 2 points of damage depending on what form you're in. So
I like that one, that you can use it in all 3 forms, not just the hero forms. Next, we have 2 copies of the Natural Flight event, which is a 2-cost thwart event. And with this, you can remove 4 threat from a scheme. And if you're an Angel, you can... If you're Angel, then the thwart ignores the crisis icon and the patrol keyword. So, yeah.
All right. Then we have an attack event here. 2 copies. Cost 3. Aerial attack. Hero action attack. Deals 6 damage to an enemy. And if you're Archangel, this attack gains overkill and piercing. Now, the nice thing with this card and the previous card is you can still use this in the other form, but if you use it in Archangel in this case, Angel in the previous case, you get the extra bonus.
Right. Okay. Next, we have 2 copies of the Avian Anatomy. It's a resource card that provides wild resources, but as a response, after you spin this card to play any aerial event, you can return that event to your hand after resolving the effects. So you can either use the event a second time, or you can use it as a resource to play something else.
All right. Next, we have a support. 1-cost support, Worthington Industries. As an action, you can exhaust Worthington Industries, shuffle 1 aerial card from your discard pile into your deck. And if you're in alter ego form, draw a card. Now, nice thing to note, most supports, like you have to be alter ego, but in this one you don't. But it's better if you are, because then you get to draw a card. And so there's that.
And then the last of his signature cards is a 3-cost upgrade. It is the Techno-Organic Wings. Those are a superpower tech. And as a hero action, once these are out, you can exhaust it to... if you're Angel, you can ready your hero. And if you're Archangel, then you can reduce the cost of the next aerial event that you play from your hand by a total of 2 for this phase. So you have to play at the phase that you use this card, but yeah, it cuts the cost down by 2, so it makes some of those really expensive ones a lot more usable.
All right. Angel's Precon deck comes in protection. So first protection card we have is an ally, Elixir. He costs 4. He's a 1 thwart, 1 attack, 3 hit points. X-Force traded. You can only play him if you're X-Force or X-Men. As a response, after Elixir attacks or thwarts, heal 1 damage from another friendly character.
Okay. The next ally we have here is Siren. She is a 4-cost ally who thwarts for 2 and attacks for 2. And she also has the Aerial and X-Force keywords. And as a response, after she attacks, she stuns a minion.
All right. And we have another ally. So that's 3 allies in protection here. 4-cost Warpath. 2 thwart with 2 consequential. 2 attack. 4 hit points. Aerial and X-Force. He comes in tough with the toughness trait. That's nice. Hero response. After Warpath defends against an attack, play an event with a hero action ability from your hand. So you can sneak this off during the villain phase, which then if you're Archangel, you can even do extra damage if it's an aerial card.
Okay, next we have 3 copies of the aerial intervention event. It's a 0-cost event, and it's an aerial as well. But as an interrupt, when a character, so this any character, would take any amount of damage from an attack, you can exhaust an aerial character you control to prevent up to 3 of that damage. And with Angel, again, all of his allies that he comes with are aerial themed, so you can use them there.
All right. Next, we have a reprint, but with nice new art. 2-cost event, Ever Vigilant. Aerial skill. Play only if your identity has the aerial trait. As a hero action, ready your hero and remove 2 threat from the main scheme.
All right, next we have 3 copies of the Taunt event. And that is a 1-cost event. It's a tactic that as a hero action, you have the villain attack you, and other characters cannot defend against this attack. And it gives you 3 cards. So if you really want to hug, you can get 3 cards out of it.
All right. And now we have the new card type for this wave, which is a player side scheme.
I love these things.
Render medical aid, victory 0. When defeated, each player heals a total of 5 damage from among characters they control, and it comes in with 3 threat per player.
Right, next we have a support here. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's pronounced Angel's Airy.
Yeah.
I think it's the pronunciation for it, but it's a 1-cost support. It's a location. And as a response, after you defend against an attack, you place 1 fatigue counter here. And now note, even though it says Angel's Airy, it can be used by any protection player. And as an alter ego action, you remove each fatigue counter from here to heal 1 damage from your identity for each fatigue counter removed this way. So if you have 5 on there, you can heal 5, so it saves you from having to actually heal while you're down.
All right. Next, we have Containment Strategy. It's a 1-cost upgrade. It's a tactic attached to a non-permanent side scheme, max 1 per side scheme. As a response, after a hero defends against an attack, remove 1 threat from the attached scheme. 2 threat instead if the hero took no damage from that attack.
All right. And moving on to the basic cards in the deck, we have Cannonball, who is a 3-cost ally. He thwarts for 2 and attacks for 2, both with 2 consequential damage. He has the aerial and X-Force keywords. However, as an interrupt, when he would take any amount of consequential damage, you can reduce the amount by X, where X is the number of aerial cards in your hand. So if you use them early on in your turn, you have a couple of aerial cards, he can stay out without taking any consequential damage and act. So, I mean, they're really leaning hard into the aerial keyword on this, and I'm loving it.
Speaking of love, we have the team-up card for Angel and Psylocke. It's a 2-cost event, Soaring Hearts. Aerial and Psionic. Team-up Angel and Psylocke, so you have to be Angel, not Archangel, for this to work. Hero action, search your discard pile for an identity-specific event and add it to your hand, and then ready Angel and Psylocke.
See, I was always a fan of Archangel. Why doesn't he get the love there? All right, next we have 3 copies of a new Power of card. It's the Power of Flight. And what this one does is it by itself, it provides just a single energy resource, but it doubles, you double the amount of resources produced if you're using it to pay for an aerial card. So again, playing into the aerial, which, we're seeing a lot of here.
All right. And then we have a 2-cost basic upgrade, Soaring Acrobatics. It's a skill. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Hero interrupt. When an aerial character you control uses a basic power, you can exhaust Soaring Acrobatics. That character will get +1 to that power for this use.
Okay, so that's the last of the cards from the character's deck. So let's move on to the orange cards here. We'll start with the obligation. So Angel's obligation here is the Apocalyptic Influence. And of course, when it comes out, you give it to the Angel player. When you reveal it, if you're in Archangel form, you place 2 threat on the main scheme. Otherwise, you have to flip over to the Archangel form. To get rid of it as an alter ego action, you deal the first player an encounter card to discard the card. And what you'll notice there is it's got the hazard on there, so that means that the first player's getting that card, getting a card anyways. So this one honestly doesn't feel as painful as some of the other ones that we're seeing anymore, but it
All
does
right.
flip you.
And his nemesis is Harpoon from the Marauders. He's got a 1 scheme, 1 attack with a star, 6 hit points, Brute Marauder. Harpoon gets +1 attack when attacking a character with the aerial trait. When revealed, discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an event. Take indirect damage equal to that event's printed cost.
Okay, and the side scheme here is the hook, line, and sinker side scheme. It comes in with 2 threat per player. And each attack, what it does is each attack from a brute enemy, which Harpoon is, deals indirect damage. So, blocking it is not quite as straightforward. And as a forced response, after a friendly character takes any amount of indirect damage, you exhaust that character. So, it has the potential of exhausting multiple characters if you try to distribute that out.
All right. Next, we have an attachment. Harpoon's Harpoon gives him +1 attack. It's a weapon. Attached to Harpoon. If a Harpoon is not in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for him, reveal him, and attach this card to him. If you cannot, this card gains Surge. After Harpoon attacks you, take 2 indirect damage as a forced response.
And then the last 2 cards we have in the Nemesis set here is 2 copies of the Spear Shot Treachery card. When revealed, you discard cards from the top of the deck until you discard an event at the top of your deck. And then you take indirect damage equal to that event's printed cost. If that event has the aerial trait, then this card gains Surge. So, of course, you're playing Angel, you're leaning heavy into the aerial trait, you're probably getting Surge. Anybody else has it? Probably not as likely to get the Surge, but especially an aggression player, that can really hurt them because they have some costly events in there.
All right. And now we have our stop card here for the cards that we've talked about before are in his pre-built deck, but they give us extra cards for other aspects so you can build Angel in other aspects. So he comes in protection. So we have an aggression card here. 2-cost event called Bombs Away. Aerial tactic. Exhaust an aerial character you control and choose a player. Deal 3 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with that player.
Okay. Next, we have the Justice card from the set. It is a 0-cost upgrade. It's called Eyes in the Sky. It's an aerial preparation event. And what this does is, as a hero interrupt, when you reveal a non-elite enemy, you can exhaust an aerial character you control and discard this card to cancel the effects of that card and discard it. Then you reveal another card from the encounter deck. So, it does still reveal another one, but you can definitely get rid of a nasty card that way.
Okay. Next, we have our leadership event. As a 4-cost event, Flying Formation, Aerial Tactic, Alliance. So the players as a group can contribute to paying for this card. As a hero action, you get to ready up to 3 aerial characters.
Okay. And then the final card from the set that we have is 3 copies of the basic upgrade X-Force Recruit. It's a 0-cost card. It's a title. You can only play this if your character or if your identity has the X-Force trait. You attach it to a friendly character, max 1 per character, but that character gets +1 hit point and they gain the X-Force trait.
Okay. Dirk and I have played Angel in all the aspects. I really enjoy him, especially if you lean heavy on the aerial theme. You can make some very interesting decks. In the future, we'll have a review of the hero and in the different aspects. But for now, I'm Dave.
And I'm Dirk.
Thank you for watching.